Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. Hope you're having a great day. Hope this video can make it a little bit better. The following video was taken as part of stream. I hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. All right, it's been 5 minutes. We've given people time to filter in. Let's go ahead and start with some of these rankings. Now, kind of need to explain how we're doing this because it is a little bit different. So we are going to be considering their power, obviously, with the tier list. We're not going to be doing it balanced like it did last time. Last time, we made all the tiers be kind of the same length if possible. Here, we can try to fill more into the tiers if possible, which is why we made this bigger. We don't technically have the waiting room. We have that just over here now. One thing, though, since power, a lot of champions are so powerful, especially at 6 stars, that pretty much all 6-star champions can steamroll pretty much all the content in the game. So power is not as important anymore. The more important thing is going to be speed and consistency. So for speed, we're really trying to consider what turn do they actually win? Can they consistently, right out the gate with no help, end turn 1? Do they have to get a little bit lucky to end turn 1? Do they consistently end in like the second attack, so turn 3? And as we are considering these champions, we're wanting to keep that into consideration. But then also with consistency, it's like, how easy is it for the enemy to shut you down? And do you have to be getting lucky with getting right powers? So we're really trying to leverage some of those aspects. So even if a champion is super powerful, those drawbacks are going to be more heavily weighted than they have in previous tier lists. Previous tier list was a little bit more focused on just the raw power of the champion. We are going to be considering that they are at 6 stars and they have any build available to them, so like their best possible builds. I think that's the most fair way to do it. And so we're just going to be rating all of the constellation champions. We're not going to be doing everyone because with there being 70, I think that would be too long. Does each tier have a criteria of its own? We haven't really done that for this tier list. We have done that for some of the other ones. This one is going to be a little bit more vibes based, like a lot of the, well, just like a lot of tier lists. So if someone seems like they should be in S tier, now obviously if someone's in S tier, they have to be better than everyone below them. So there's still obviously that ranking. And yeah, S tier should generally be for champions that are ridiculously strong, are super consistent, and can normally end incredibly quickly, which is often going to be like turn 1. I'll not hear Acel slander. Even Swain can't consistently compare to how quick Acel ends. I mean, I do not think he is the strongest champion in the game. How about control? So with control, like, we're not necessarily leveraging control that much. It's just, is the champion consistently able to end? Yes or no? Like champions that can't end turn 1 but can heavily shut down opponents. I mean, it doesn't... having a lot of control doesn't really matter. It's more just how can you consistently win. So honestly, someone like Morgana is probably going to drop from the S tier into the A tier just because she is normally a lot slower. Now, her with 6 stars is a lot faster than her without 6 stars. So she's still incredibly strong. So her power from her control is going to be leveraged, but champions that have those bigger drawbacks are going to be dropping a bit. Would it be more clear if each tier was descriptive instead of letters? If I were a new player and saw a champion F tier, I would never unlock their 6-star, even if they were my favorite. I mean, that's kind of just going to be the way it is. Like, at this point, everyone's used to a tier list. Trying to do a descriptive for everyone, especially when we don't actually have an actual quantified spot for every single place in the tier list. Now, I'll be very clear, all of these champions are busted. And so all the champions are good. We're not saying any of them are bad. And actually, one thing that I brought up in the Aatrox video that hasn't been posted yet is even though some champions are weaker, it can be more fun playing a champion that's not just brain dead, destroy absolutely everything. Having a champion with drawbacks can be more enjoyable. So honestly, some of the bottom tiers might be more fun than a lot of the ones higher up. Not just ending turn 1. That's not the only criteria. Like, their speed is helping them, but also their consistency. So one champion, Vayne, she can often end turn 1, but she has some major drawbacks where if you don't draw Vayne, or if they're able to do something to her, then you're completely shut down. So it's not just turn 1 can you end. Consistency is going to be a very big factor. Yasuo, see, Yasuo is going to be one that his strength and consistency is going to bring him a lot higher, and then the fact he's a little bit slower will bring him back down a bit. Eldragon is S tier. I've had no issues with him on every single adventure, any single difficulty. Very resilient, pretty much all modifiers out of the box. All right, so we'll start with these 4 up here. These are the 4 I've done videos on so far, and yeah, some of those videos haven't been posted yet, but we'll start with these ones. So Viego, he is one that is incredibly good. He does have some weaknesses in that if you don't draw Viego, he can be a lot weaker. He can struggle with card draw. If you don't draw the right cards, you can very quickly run out of things to play, and then you're just going to feel very, very weak. This is considering their peak potential, as in not peak potential as far as powers you can get in the adventure, because that's just luck of the draw, but out of the box, when you're playing the champion, when you start an adventure, how strong are you generally? So yeah, Viego is one that he is incredibly good, super, super strong. He can struggle a lot more with consistency. Like, you can end pretty consistently turn 1 with him, but he does have more drawbacks than some other champions in just the fact that if you don't draw him, if you don't draw the right spells, the right cards, he can actually feel a lot weaker. Now, when I played him, I still think he is probably strong enough to be in the S tier overall, but he does have more drawbacks than some of the other champions. So I think potentially he might get kicked down to be like an A tier champion, just because he does have some bigger weaknesses that can pop up when you're playing him regularly. I do find when not drawing Viego because I use Nasus Relic to strike, generate a mist with other champs as well. Personally prefer builds we don't entirely rely on champ if possible. Yeah, that is nice. Yeah, he's one that at the moment, I think he's still S tier, but he does have some more weaknesses that we normally haven't highlighted as much in the tier lists. Finally got into 6 stars, so I finally understand how you bastards feeling all the time. Yeah, he is very, very good. I agree with that placement. All right, if anyone... I don't think many people would disagree with Viego still being an S tier, but if you have any disagreements, definitely post them in chat, especially try to do not just, oh, I disagree, but why you think that. If you think any of the rankings are off, definitely let me know. Let's go for Aatrox up next. I played him in one of the videos that I think that one's coming out tonight. Anyways, he was a lot of fun, very, very good. But he is still, for one, a lot slower than most of the other champions. Most other S tier champions are ending in your first attack or your second attack. Aatrox, it's normally like your third attack. Also with Aatrox, he has a massive vulnerability compared to a lot of other champions where you have to play the champion, and then the next turn, you have to then equip them, or when you play your followers. Most other units, you drop the unit, they're already massive, or they're already giving you some value, so even if the enemy tries to take them away, that's not as big of an issue. But for Aatrox, you have to play the unit. They're normally really small and kind of pathetic, and then you have to attach them, so they have an entire turn where they can just punish you with a recall, kill spell. He's much more open to vulnerabilities than a lot of other champions. While he is consistent, he's also a bit slower. So I think that's why he's going to be lower down. I think so many other champions are just going to be a lot faster and don't have as big of a weakness. That being said, I do think Aatrox is actually a very fun champion, and actually having those weaknesses to play around can make the game much more interesting. So even though I think putting him lower on the list, I do actually think he's very fun and potentially a lot more fun than some of the other champions. If darkened weapons were like Jack weapon, yes. So that's one really good thing for Jax is his units are auto-equipped. For Aatrox, having to play them and then play them the next round, and then they get all the stats when they're equipped, is a huge weakness for you, because the enemy can really try to exploit your units then. Kind of feels like the weapon playstyle is a little too slow. A bit, yeah. He's a little random inconsistent. With the 2-mana discount, yeah, sometimes it hits exactly what you need, and then you get some really good cards. Other times it's a little bit rough. Do we know of any plans that there'll be additional options of stuff so you can buy for Shards and Stardust? No, we have no details of that on the moment. Hello, Tora. Aatrox is very susceptible to draw and removal, needs his equipment and followers, and his 6-star applies to the subset of his followers cards. Yes, that's also another big issue for Aatrox, is sometimes you can just draw all of your equipment and then you don't actually have any units to play, and your hand is like kind of bricked for a couple rounds. So Aatrox does have some pretty big drawbacks, but he is very fun. So again, don't think just because I'm putting a champion lower means they are overall bad or not fun. Let's go for Elder. He's both of these I kind of gonna put in the kind of the same spot. I'm gonna put him at like the bottom of A. So Elder Dragon is very good. Like one of you was saying, I have not struggled with any content with Elder Dragon. He is super consistent, very strong. I will say, though, he is on the slower side. Now, not super slow, but normally it's like your second or third attack that you're able to end. And so, while he's consistent and strong, I think that speed, there's going to be a lot of other champions that can outshine him. This is about 6 stars with, yes, your best relic builds. So I think he's strong, a little slow. I think he could get kicked down to B tier if there's just a lot of other champions that have his same strength and consistency, but are also faster. Elder Dragon feels like C. That's kind of crazy. Elder Dragon is definitely strong, but he, like Kale, can feel very random if you get the wrong soul buff. C is a bit too low. Yeah, I would definitely not do C. I think he might eventually get kicked down to B, but I think we'll start with A. Low A, high B. Okay. And I think Kale is kind of the same way with Elder Dragon. Played her recently as well. She is very consistent, very strong, especially if you go for her build where you're giving your units Overwhelm and you go for Secret Technique. You get really massive units. With her 6-star, you have a ton of removal. But again, she's normally ending in either your second or third attack. That's kind of the range she's generally falling into. And so I think there's going to be a lot of other champions that, again, probably edge her out and potentially push her down to the B tier. Only useless soul is fire. I mean, even then, the souls are giving you some stats. Yeah, generally with Elder Dragon, I've not struggled at all, and even the souls I've been getting normally don't matter because they're all just giving you so much bonuses. It's whatever you get is generally fine, especially since they're not just giving you the keywords anymore, they're also giving you stats. Yeah, for Kale, I played these two pretty close to each other, and they felt pretty similar in I was not struggling at all in the adventure, was able to do very well, and I wasn't able to end, though, normally until like the third attack, which just for a 6-star is a bit on the slower side. So I just think that amount is bringing them down a bit more. Also agree on Kale, but I think she's higher than Elder Dragon. Solid A. Oh yeah, for Elder Dragon, you have a ton of sustain. I think these two are, yeah, pretty close together. I think it's okay, but personally would put her high B. Kale is slow early, exactly, which is the thing that's kind of bringing her down a little bit. I personally put Elder Dragon above her. I think Elder Dragon is, yeah, a bit stronger. Can lose if AI is very aggressive. I think Kale is weaker than Elder. Yeah, I also think she's weaker than Elder Dragon. So I think these two for right now, low A is generally where I'm feeling them, but I could see both of these potentially getting kicked down based on the other champions, but we'll have to see. I think now let's try to just go down in order. So let's start off with Ahri. I think Ahri is an easy S tier champion. She is incredibly good, super consistent. You don't need pretty much any extra power from the adventure with her. Like, baseline, you can go in and just absolutely stomp everything, and you can pretty easily end turn 1 right out the gate. And you can also get a couple items and powers to just make you go like infinite and absolutely destroy everything. Ahri's goated. I would argue that Ahri is the strongest. Potentially, yeah. Just getting more rewards. Just played Set against Diva. Holy shit, he loves his deck more than I thought. Not drafting Chord cards sucks. Can't wait to get into Constellation. Yeah, Set is very good, and you really want to stick with your cards. She's so good, especially with the right Relic build. Yes. Ahri also is like 6 viable build for any situation. Yeah, Ahri, super flexible. You can play her in a lot of ways. But the more I've played her, the more she feels like one of, if not the strongest champion in the game. She's incredibly busted and super, super consistent. She's fast, consistent, destroys everything. Yeah, I'm very confident that she's going to be in the S tier and stay in the S tier. I don't think anyone is going to be able to move her out. And yeah, I would say she's arguably the best champion in the game. Just got back to Path recently. I'm loving the Jhin Constellation. Always love his gameplay. Direct damage is my shit. Yeah, it's pretty good. Agree on Ahri. All right, good. As for the comment of Soul of Fire useless, I don't think it's useless unless you're using Beast or something, I guess, which I don't. So I always use giving him the Overwhelm. But for the most part, if you have a lot of stats on Eddie, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's... Normally you're always running with Beast, so the Overwhelm doesn't matter as much. All right, let's go for Akshan. I like Akshan a lot. I think with some of the builds for him, he can be ridiculously good. He can often end turn 1. I think with going a Echoing build, especially like Echoing Gale Force, he can be super consistent. For me, I feel like he is low S or high A, personally. I think he's pretty busted. So yeah, either bottom of S or top of A is how I'm really feeling for Akshan. Low S sounds good. Akshan's countered by a lot of modifiers, though. He's faster than Kale on a good day, but more susceptible. What modifiers do you think Akshan is countered by? Because I feel like pretty much anything I've taken him into, he absolutely annihilates. Don't know about Akshan, don't have enough experience in him now, haven't seen him much. Hidden Tome feels really good too on Akshan. Makes your turn 1 really strong. The Create modifier, I feel like that's kind of the only modifier, though. Like, when you say it gets countered by a lot of modifiers, I feel like there's just... Sure, the Created Cards one can be annoying. Yes, we're considering all of these at 6 stars with their best possible builds. I think that's the most fair way to do it. The ones that increase cost of created cards, the ones that increase cost of cards played, the ones that force you to play defensive too. For Akshan, I've not needed to play defensive with him because with Echoing, you get so much removal that you just kill all the enemy units. And so they play another unit, you just immediately kill it. So I would disagree with the one about playing defensive, because even I've taken him to modifiers where they get immediately massive units that are way bigger than normal, he's still actually been able to dominate. But sure, created cards, that's not great for him. And then ones that increase the cost of cards played, that one's a bit of a toss-up. He can spam a lot, which can hurt you into some modifiers, but he also has cost reduction for all the cards he plays, so he has a bit of a way to counteract that himself. Echoing is really interesting. I could try that instead of Secret Technique. Yeah, so with Akshan, there's a couple different builds that I really, really like with him, but Echoing is always there. So it's Echoing, Gale Force, and then his Relic. That one is a lot of fun, better than I actually thought it was going to be. Or if you don't have Gale Force, you replace that with Hidden Tome. Both of them give you an insane turn 1 Akshan, and you just steamroll the enemy, normally ending in the first or second attack. Akshan is low S seems dubious, but I do almost regret 6-star Maldus sometimes. Akshan as a champ is more powerful, but his 6-star isn't as impactful as Nasus. Yes, I would say Akshan 6-star isn't as impactful, but him overall as a champion is really, really good. I'm pretty sure I posted his Gale Force build. If anyone is super dubious or not sure about him, definitely look at some of the builds I've put out for him, especially the one with Gale Force. It was able to just absolutely annihilate everything. All right, I think we'll put him here for now. He might get kicked down to A. Akshan is definitely stronger than Nasus, but Nasus's 6-star is more impactful for Nasus than Akshan's 6-star is for him, if that makes sense. All right, let's keep moving on then. We have Mbessa. I like Mbessa a lot. I think she is very strong. She has really good removal with her 6-star. You have really good scaling. You can be a little bit slow turn 1. Normally you want to be able to play a unit, then be able to play your champion spell. And so her turn 1 can be a little weak. If you're going against a very aggressive enemy, they can really hurt you. But with all of her rallies, after your first turn, she just picks up steam and absolutely destroys. I like her a lot. I think she would have to be in the A to B category, but I'm not sure where exactly. Because yeah, I do think she's very strong. I think she's at least a B tier champion. Arguably A. Probably between Eddie and Kale. I kind of would think she's stronger than Elder Dragon. Yeah, I think I would want to put her above Elder Dragon, personally. Bess is very fun. She feels like a natural counter to Lissandra boss. One of the good things with her is you have so many attacks, rallies, free attacks, that a lot of other champions, they have to wait for their attack turn to be able to actually attack. And Bessa, that doesn't often matter. And Bessa is probably my favorite Noxus. Eldrang is so much fun to play. The free kill makes a difference to me because enemy stats don't matter with her, which is, yeah, really good, especially when you can get these free attacks and rallies going, and every single attack, you're just deleting the strongest enemy. She's very consistent, at least when I play her, because her 6-star removes big threats. Yeah, I feel like she's A tier, and I think I would put her above these two. Because while she is a little bit weak turn 1, she just gets ridiculously strong. You have so much removal. You have so many free attacks, or attacks, rallies, which gives you even more removal. Yeah, I think A tier above Elder Dragon, and we'll see how it fits in with some of the other ones. Agreed. Her relic is OP. Yeah, totally. Above Elder Dragon's fair, above Kale for sure. Okay. So yeah, we'll put Mbessa there. Let's go for Ashe. I know a lot of people really like Ashe. I would kind of think Ashe would be like B tier. I would choose any of the current A tier champions above her, but I think she'd probably be stronger and more consistent than Aatrox. So for me, I'd kind of think like this for now. Best also works with a lot of powers, both unit-based, spells-based, very versatile and solid removal. Not S tier, but consistent enough to not go in B. Yeah, it's very well put. Don't have Ashe at 6 stars. Yeah, I think she's good. Her control gives you a lot of power. You can play her a couple different ways, including just a very simple like double to triple Gatebreaker, and you can normally drop her. Normally by the time you can play Ashe, she could potentially end the game. I have 6-star Ashe. She's really strong, but I don't know where to place her. I would definitely say Mbessa's way higher. Elder Dragon's a good amount higher. I think she's closer to Kale, but I still think I would prefer Kale over her. I feel like Ashe is slow but reliable. Yeah, she's super reliable. I think her probably being in like high B is good. This, for me, this works. I know there's some major stands for Ashe that want her to be like S tier, which always seems ridiculous to me. Like, she's good, but not that good. Ashe needs time to build up and is either Glass Cannon or boring Triple Gatebreaker. I mean, yeah, Triple Gatebreaker is boring, but it is really strong. High B sounds fair. I mean, even Aatrox is strong, but we need to remember most champs are very strong here. I mean, every champ is strong here. Every single one of these, even the ones we're going to rate, if we put anyone in the F tier, I think it's really good. I feel safer playing Gatebreaker Ashe than Kale. Yeah, I would say I prefer Gatebreaker Ashe over Gatebreaker Kale as well. I agree on her placement. She's slow. Her deck is bad, but she's consistent. Okay, I'm glad most people, yeah, generally everyone's agreeing with this. Let's move on to Aurelion Sol. This is probably going to be a little more divisive. I think Aurelion Sol is good. He is obviously consistent. He's very powerful. You can get lucky and turn 1 with him, but normally for that to happen, you have to get either like the perfect draw for your hand, where you're getting all of just like super cheap invokes and you're getting all the right cards, or you have to get the right powers. I feel like I'd almost want to put him like the top of A, but Aurelion is A or low S. That's more of what I'm feeling. Definitely feels inconsistent. Yeah. What's the requirement for S? Pretty much being better than everyone else. Generally, this is where you want the people that are the strongest, the most consistent, like reliable, and also going to be pretty fast, where they're able to end consistently in the first couple rounds. But generally, it's just the top of the top, whoever we think is really the best. This is much more vibes based than some of my other tier lists where it has like exact requirements for all of these. Why wouldn't he be S? The one issue with Aurelion Sol is consistency as far as how fast you are. Like, you can consistently win, yes, but your consistency for being able to end like turn 1 is pretty low. Like, it's kind of the same thing for Viego. When Viego gets the right cards and the right effects, he can get Viego on the board and leveled and end the game turn 1. And I feel like that happens more than Elder Dragon does. Ari's requirement for S, pretty much. He feels way different compared to the other constellations. High A, low S. He needs help in high adventures to get going. Yeah. I feel like 80% of the time, get like 80% damage turn 1. I mean, That can happen when you get lucky with just a couple of the right powers. Fair enough, I agree with your initial thought of A. Your turn ones can really suck with ASOL, which leaves you super open in 5 and 6 star adventures. Yeah, I feel like he's roughly low S or high A. Do I want to put him... I think for right now, let's maybe set him here. Because, yeah, your turn one consistency can be all over the place. Sometimes you get absolutely nothing, and you get just like a couple units on the board. You don't even get like a single champion. Between Akshan and Viego, possibly. Are y'all doing something wrong? I can maybe agree with high A, low S, but somehow you do something to hinder your consistency. I mean, I've just played him a bunch with tons of different builds. I find that sometimes you high roll, and yeah, you absolutely destroy. I mean, he always destroys, but you can totally dominate turn one, but it's not super reliable. The exact placement, yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like Akshan's more consistent with his turn one. I think we'll leave him there for now. He's definitely very good. I play him a lot with one build. 80% of the time, it's turn one. One guy accept defeat here. We all agree that he is very good. We just have different scales for how we think he's really good. Let's go for Caitlyn. I like Caitlyn a lot. I think with the addition of the Fiddlesticks relic, it has improved her greatly. That being said, I would think she's probably going to end up being more close to like Ashe, I would think. Because I think she is very strong. You can end pretty well. You have a lot of control by just killing all enemy units. She's one of the most fun champions to me, but I don't think I could really put her in the S or A tier. I think B tier is probably the highest. I love Caitlyn, so I might be biased, but she's more consistent to me than ASOL, just a bit slower on high rolls. Yeah, I also really love Caitlyn, but I'm going to definitely put Aurelion Sol above her. She can be pretty consistent, but I would argue that Kate is low A. I feel like she'd get kicked out of A tier. Well, first of all, actually, all right, I'm going to do a poll, so one moment. All right, there we go. All right, so this poll is just, do you want Caitlyn above Ashe? Yes or no? Because I know a lot of people, like, I prefer Caitlyn over Ashe. I know a lot of people really like Ashe, though. I just wanted to be... everyone to be able to see that, hey, this is what people are actually agreeing with. All right, it's split 50-50 right now. Oh, a bunch of people added yes. She's definitely more fun. Ashe is more consistent. Kate is more fun. All right, couple seconds left, but right now, Caitlyn has it. Kate can keep the board empty while having the spell to finish. I think Kate over Ashe. doing polls where we replace a champion we just introduced is not bad, especially on ones I think can be a little bit more split. All right, so that one is done. Also, thank you for the subs. Izzy, thank you. And then Cyclone. This was a little while ago. Okay, so that one, yes, we won there. I'm going to do one more poll now. So I think she is either low A or high B. So do you want us to put Caitlyn down here in the bottom of A tier, or in the top, leave her where she is in B tier? So go ahead and vote in that. Yes, you want her in A. No, you think she should stay where she is in B tier. All right, right now the no's are definitely having it. Yeah, B's winning by a lot. That is, yeah, definitely better to be able to see what you guys are thinking. All right, look like the no's solidly have it. So we will leave Caitlyn where she is in the top of B tier. I think she's really good. She's very fun. One of my favorite champions. Pretty consistent, but yeah, a lot of other champions are just going to be stronger. Top of B and low A is almost the same. I mean, yeah, they're very close, but I mean, moving up from one tier or the other is going to make kind of a big impact for a lot of people, especially when they're seeing it. All right, next up, let's go for Darius. I like Darius. I think he's fun. He can be very strong. I would kind of want to put him, I think, above Aatrox right here. I think you have more early game power. You can be very flexible where you can focus on Darius, but you don't have to. The 6-star is able to generate free units for you, which, while it sucks that they're not attacking alongside you, it's still solid. And I feel like with his 2nd star power, he's able to put a lot more pressure than Aatrox. Low B for me, if not C. Yeah, slow but steady definitely works out very well for Caitlyn. Low B, if not C. Yeah, I can... That feels about right to me as well. C tier sounds good. Darius placement is fair. Darius in C is good because he doesn't really rely on the champ. C is stronger than Aatrox. C is good. Okay, so I won't bother doing a poll. Pretty much everyone is saying they agree with that placement. Great. Let's go for Echo. C is very okay. I think Echo is very strong. I think he can be very good. You have a lot of early game power. He's both consistent and inconsistent at the same time. Like, you can high roll with him like crazy, but you consistently can end very well. Echo feels A tier, mid to low A. That's kind of what I'm thinking as well. I don't know if I'd want to put him above or behind Kale. Feel like he's B or A. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking this range as well for him. Echo still needs to do stuff with those stats. I feel high B. All right, well, let's do a poll just right at the start of what tier you guys are thinking. All right, so just to start off, do you think he should be in the A tier or B tier? Let's start there, because I think he's very good. I think if we put him in the B tier, he's probably stronger than both of these, even though I do prefer both of them over Echo. Feel high B, but if you put him even in top of B, zero issues. Wow, yeah. That's... I am also happy with this because I know there's some people that they just only play one champion. They love that champion, and for them, that champion's S tier. At least I like with chat that people can see that this is not just me putting them there. This is kind of the overwhelming. All right, everyone's putting him in B. Damn, I did not expect it to be that one-sided. All right, let's do one more then. Oh, that's not what I wanted to hit. All right, so another quick poll. Do you think we should put him above the two other champions in B tier, the Caitlyn and the Ashe, or do you want us to put him below them? Needs to get going. Predict is really good mechanic, but he can be vulnerable early. Needs create a card, hand space, mana, and a way to get started. He's not A tier, I think. Spent mana on predicts. 0 A's, that's crazy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I feel like Echo and all the draws are pretty consistent. I mean, I would not have been upset putting him in low A, personally. The thing is with all the tiers that all the champions are so broken, every little weakness gets highlighted. Yes. Okay, so a lot of people are saying above. Echo is for sure good in games that go on. Yep, very true. Kate is more fun, but Echo is stronger. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, everyone's saying above, so we are going to move these two down. This is why I like having chat for tier lists, to actually have other people to kind of bounce these rankings off of. All right, so we'll put that there for now. Let's move on. We have Evelynn. I kind of feel like Evelyn's probably A tier. Yes, your turn one often sucks, but with the fact you can get the extra mana from your 5-star, you can then play Evelynn turn 2. She can have crazy control with stunning all enemy units every round. With the 6-star, you have a ridiculous amount of stats that you can consistently end. Normally not your first attack. Normally, like, your first round, you have the attack token, you don't do anything. The second round, you develop. Third round, which is your second attack turn, you end. So I think she is A tier. A above Ambessa. We did try Eve with Jace's Relic. It actually worked out quite well. I think Ambessa is stronger than her. Her Relic, she's a lot better. I mean, even her Relic or Echoing, both of them fix the issue of not drawing her. So that problem is completely gone. You're so vulnerable with her first Husk. Yes, but that is kind of her only issue. And often you can try to, like, pass, and normally the enemy will play something above Elder Dragon. Let's see. Are people happy with, like, that sort of placement? Evelynn with Echoing, Black Shield, in my opinion, mid A, maybe high B. The thing is, she does have multiple builds, so you can kind of tailor it for what you're going against. So if you are going against people that are going to be trying to kill your Husks with specialty spells, you can actually throw on Black Shield. Yeah, I like that placement. Does it assume we have all the relics? Yes. Next Elder and fine. In my opinion, she's a little below Eddie, but next one was fine. Stronger than Eddie for sure, goodness. She and Eddie have the same power, or the same level power-wise, but I feel like she's a little bit more versatile. All right. We're generally in consensus. Don't want to spend too long, but everyone's, yeah, pretty happy with that. Let's move on to Fiddlesticks. I feel like Fiddlesticks, we can throw him in the S tier. He's super good. He's one of the few champions that can get around a lot of encounters or a lot of modifiers. He is pretty strong, pretty busted. He is removal. He is scaling. I feel like there are other champions that can be faster than him, but he's still strong enough to be considered S tier, I would say. I would say better than Ari. I mean, the exact... Yeah, they're both really, really good. Okay, yeah, no one's really going to argue with Fiddlesticks not being in the S tier. All right, let's move on to Gwen. I feel like Gwen is really good. She can have a lot of damage early. She can be very consistent. I think she's opened up a little bit more vulnerabilities because normally if you want to get the most amount of damage, you want to drop her turn 1 and then attack, and you can put forward a lot of damage, but if she gets stunned, frostbitten, anything like that, then you're really going to get punished, especially if you're going for like a Gale Force build. Fiddlesticks is literally only bad in the Twisted Fate adventure. Yeah. I would say top of A does seem pretty good for Gwen. I don't think she's strong enough to be considered S. I think she does have some weaknesses that can pop up. But I would think A tier is pretty good for her. Super consistent when drawn and protected, but if either is disrupted, she's not very strong. Yeah, that's the problem with her. She's super good. It's actually very similar to Viego, but I think Viego handles it a bit better, where if the enemy does do something to you to mess you up, you're going to be having a very hard time. I don't think she's stronger than Mbessa. Yeah, I would... Honestly, let's kind of do a separation right here. I think we should move some of these over to higher A for right now. I think these ones are good, but deserve to be more in like bottom A. I kind of feel like I like these better. I think Mbessa is better. I think Gwen can end at the same speed as S tier, but she's not in the demon realm of S tier. So she can end turn 1, yes, and she can do it very consistently, but she's very similar to Vayne, where the enemy can screw up your turn 1 attack, and then you're pretty screwed. With... Yeah, it can be a bit rough. Eve and Gwen are kind of same. Eve is also better. I think let's put Gwen here. I think she is good. I think she should be on the higher end of A. But I still like, yeah, some of these ones better. Isn't that what she said for Eve's turn 1 Husk? Last tier, let's put Gwen, Lilia, and Vayne in the same tier. I mean, that might still be the same. I think all 3 of them are busted. I think it's not as bad for Evelyn. You have more options to kind of deal with it. For one, you do have your kill spell, so if they try to target your Husk, you can then target and kill it. And generate another Husk. You also have multiple different cards to play. I don't know. Evelyn feels a bit better. Especially with your, like, amount of scaling. Or not scaling, your stunning. But yeah, I think Vayne and Lilia potentially are going to fight for that A tier as well. They're pretty great. Evelyn plays better defense, agreed. Regardless, yeah, they're both very close. Let's move on then to Heimerdinger. Immediately, I would kind of feel like he would be low A or high B. I think he's very good, especially with his turn 1 build. You can put forward a ridiculous amount of damage. He can often end turn 1 fairly reliably, but it is a little bit more inconsistent than some. But I would kind of feel like he should be kind of bottom of A personally. Can't judge, know nothing about him. Since you never talk about him in normal stream, I would say B tier. Low A in my opinion, but probably stays there. would say Heimerdinger is generally actually stronger than both of these. I think his turn 1 presence is way better, and normally you can just absolutely dominate the game with him. I'm pretty happy with him. I know I haven't played him in a while, but he's really good. Slow, fun, and strong. His hand space relies on him being drawn and protected to be good. I wouldn't call him slow, so I disagree with that part. I would 100% agree, though. Fun, strong, needs hand space, relies on him being drawn and protected. Yes, I would agree with all of those parts. But with his turn 1 build, he is not slow at all. Also, since you're using his relic, you should be. He does get a lot of stats, so he's hard to remove unless they have a hard form of removal, such as like a, well, kill or obliterate. 18 mana from 3 upgrades on the 3-star is pretty good. Good placement. Yeah, I think let's put him there for now. I think he is quite strong, even though I think he's one that not a lot of people think about. Upgrades are worth 18 mana. Yeah, he can be pretty nuts and pretty consistent. Let's go for Jace. Jace is good, but he's probably more like a B tier champion. He has an incredibly strong finisher, and he's normally finishing on like your second attack, and it is pretty consistent. Yeah, I think good, but not A tier good. Low B on Jace, he's too slow. I don't think he's that slow, especially at 6 stars. With your 6-star, you're able to put a lot of damage, and you're consistently ending on your second attack, which is turn 3, which is pretty comparable to a lot of people in here. So I wouldn't say he's like low B. I would kind of think he's around, like, I would probably put him above Echo. I think Jace is easy A. He always tops up, very good removal, works with a lot of powers. He isn't that slow, to be honest. You're always ending with lifesteal, so you're full HP. Yep, I 100% agree with both of those. As like, well, other than the easy A, I think he's... I would maybe put him below Kale and Elder Dragon, but I think I'd want to put him above Echo. I maybe have a Jace bias, but he's under Ash for me. All right, I think we're going to do another poll, and honestly, Jace might be one that I need to show off again, because I think he's pretty nuts. But first, just what tier do you want us to consider with him? A or B? I think he's right around like the bottom of A or the top of B personally, but let's see what you guys are thinking. He has 3 ways of a turn to 6 cost spell. Yeah, he's pretty consistent, and you normally absolutely destroy the enemy, and you also destroy them with extra damage on your turn 2. So it's not like you're like, even in higher adventures, you can be fine. Can people see the polls on screen? I mean, you should be able to see it in your chat, but I don't have it up on the main screen here, which, I mean, could be nice, but I don't think I have that at the moment. Oh, on the recording? Not at the moment. No, it's a little, yeah, not quite. So Jace won in the B tier by 70%. So I think you should go in the B tier, and I would think he's above Echo, because he is pretty consistent and has a lot of damage. All right, 1 second. All right, I was trying to see if I could pull it up here, but it's not really wanting to work. Oh yeah, I was trying to see if we could pull it up so we could see it on screen, but it wasn't really wanting to work. So yeah, putting him in the B tier, I think he's really good. If enough people don't get him, we definitely can show him off later. But he's actually at 6 stars, pretty strong. Heimer, why are you up so high? Join the band. People underestimate his duplication of 6-star spells and how easily he can access them. Yeah, he is better than I think a lot of people think. Definitely above Echo. I guess he needs to be drawn protected, so B is probably fair where I would put him. I mean, technically you need to protect him, but normally with his build, you can just drop him and then he refills your mana and then gives you the attack token. And so even if they kill him, he's still giving you a lot of value. So you don't have to protect him or babysit him as much as many others. All right, I think next up, let's go for Jhin. Unironically, Vi might also fit into the group there, but Jinx will be upper. Possibly, yeah. All right, so I think Jhin is good. I think he has a lot of damage. But yeah, for me, I would lean towards putting him in the B tier. He's, well, with his turn 1 build, he can get a lot of damage. But yeah, he doesn't belong in the A tier, I don't think. I don't think he's that strong. Even having him at 6 stars, I'm not super impressed by him. That turn 1 build is really good, though, so I feel like he might be better than some of these. Normally, that turn 1 build isn't enough to end against high-end adventures, but it does put you in such a favorable spot that it is very strong. So that 1 build might be enough. It scales your Jhin and gives you 2/3 off the 0-cost spell. Yeah, it is pretty good. We did get kind of hard countered by Fiddlesticks, but yeah, you're essentially blowing your whole load at the very, well, second round, because you don't play him turn 1. So it's like, it's turn 2, it's a ton of damage, but if they survive and then like kill your Jhin, you can often be in a pretty good spot. Kate got separated from Arcane Buddies. I've cleared everything on him. I put him in. I can't say the same for Kate or Ash. He's very consistent, very hard to disrupt, makes great use of support champs, has a lot of powers to support him. I agree with most of that, except the one where he is very hard to disrupt, because if they just kill your Jhin, you lose a massive amount of power. Because if Jhin is not on your board, and especially if you don't have one in hand where he's not able to proc those Lotus traps, he drops considerably. So you do have to still try to protect him. Now, normally he does have a huge amount of stats, so that's good. But if they take him off the board, you do lose a lot of value. But he is pretty good. He's slow-ish, but very safe. Someone like Viego has a lot of kill spells on adventures. Yeah, I think this is pretty good for, yeah, the moment. Let's move on to Jinx. Jinx is very good. She can do a ton of damage turn 1. Normally on the tougher adventures, you don't have quite enough damage to end, but you're in a position where probably everything's dead, and you're just sitting a whole bunch of pow-pows, and normally can end like the next round. So I think she's very good. But yeah, I think she maybe would go in the like S tier, or not S tier, A tier. Yeah, I'm feeling more like having her in A tier. Like the newer 6 stars don't really know what to think of them. Remember when Jinx used to be the most OP champ in the game? Yeah. Above Ambessa. Possibly. Jinx below Akshan kind of pissed me off a bit. I put her between Ambessa or Evelyn. All right, let's go ahead and do another poll. All right, do you think she needs to be at the very top of A and kind of shove everyone else down? Because, yeah, she normally doesn't end turn 1, but she's super consistent, and normally you're in a position that you often end, like, the very next round, and often, like, the start of the next round. I think she is pretty good. I definitely could see her above everyone in A. But, yeah, let's see what chat says. Jinx gets removed, you're screwed. Ambessa gets removed, no one cares. If Jinx gets removed, you're not normally screwed. Normally you have so many pow-pows in hand that you can then still obliterate anything the enemy plays. Can't you run out of cards with enemies against crazy boards? Yes, that is possible. It normally doesn't happen, but yeah, that is something that if the enemy has a lot of very big units, especially if you use like multiple pow-pows on a single unit, she can run out of cards to play, yeah. All right, everyone is saying yes, so we're gonna shove a lot of these down and just drop our Jinx over here. Jinx is insane with new powers. They did add a whole bunch of new powers that, yes, would be really good with Jinx. A lot that either adding new spells and skills for you or ones that improve them. Yeah, that is a good point. I haven't played her since they added those, but a lot of those would have good synergies for her. Next up, we have Kai'Sa. I think Kai'Sa's really good. I think she's very consistent. Super consistent, actually. Very strong. Pretty fast. It's normally taking you a couple attacks to end, but you're in a pretty good position. Kai'Sa kind of went down for me after many champs got introduced. She's lower than Gwen, but still A, easy S. I don't think I'd go as far as S tier, but most people are saying A, and I'm fine with that. I think that's pretty good. Best Shurima champ in my opinion. I think Akshan's probably stronger. I feel like Nasus is a toss-up, but I think that's like a maybe. I know I definitely prefer Nasus, but that could just be that I find him more fun. That would be something I would consider a little bit more. All right, I'll do a poll. I do not think she should be S tier, but I've seen a couple people say it, so I just want to see what you guys are thinking. Probably could have adjusted that. But do you think Kai'Sa should be A tier or S tier? Do note I did put the A first. Now, I think she should be A tier, but I've seen a couple people say S. I don't think she's quite that good, but we'll see what people are saying. I feel like Akshan is strong. I like his gameplay, but I feel like he's being majorly overrated here. Yeah, that's why I mentioned I put that second. Akshan's pretty crazy. I would go recommend checking out the video we did on Gale Force Akshan. It absolutely annihilated everything. I think after this, I will probably do another Akshan video just to test him out again, just to try to make sure that we're not overvaluing him. But I think he's definitely stronger than you would initially think, myself included. Usually drop Kai'Sa turn 2, evolve the same turn or turn 3. I do think Kai'Sa is very, very good. And yeah, she doesn't rely on being drawn. I think she is very good. But I don't necessarily think she's S tier. That being said, I think I would maybe put her on the top of A. Yeah, also everyone is good. Let's do one more poll. I think she would potentially be maybe the best person in A tier. Because, yeah, she is super consistent, is very strong, puts in a lot of damage. And while she doesn't technically end turn 1, she does so much damage turn 1 that you can pretty consistently end. If the game goes on long enough, you can drop Kai'Sa and get a ton, or like a really strong finisher. Oof, man, other people do not agree, though. Where's all the people that wanted her in the S tier? Even Nasus with Frozen and Grangelon's counterplan feels stronger than Kai'Sa. Might be a bit much just to cope. I mean, I think she's really good. Some polls I can't interact with. That's weird. All right, so people said no to putting her in the top of A. So I think instead of trying to find the exact positioning, especially people in the middle, it's a little bit more flexible. I think we'll just put her there for now and move on. Let's go for Leona. I think Leona is really good. I think with her new build of her relic, the Strength of Stone, and then I don't know if you pair it with Starforged or if you just go for like the Overwhelm. I think you go for Overwhelm or you go for Found Fortune. I think she's very solid, but I would still think she's either like low A or in the B. I would say somewhere in here. Vi is underrated. Path Champions players love her. Vi is actually really, really good. Vi is probably going to be pretty high. Although we're not using the D or F tier at all, which is a little sad. This is going to be very high weighted. Honestly, when we do the tier list, we might just get rid of like the F tier. Beast within her relic SOS is amazing. Yeah, like she's very strong. Normally, you never have a single unit die because you have such good scaling, but then also you have phalanx. She's super consistent. Yeah, I don't think we're going to end up using the F tier. I think we might put someone in the D tier. But honestly, maybe we'll just use the top ones. Anyone unable to activate the polls had to exit and re-enter stream. I find her very inconsistent, but maybe that's just me. Do you have Leona at 6 stars? we can make the list first and later spread it out. Yeah, this is a preliminary ranking. We're just trying to get everyone on the board, and then we can fiddle with people later if we need to. I think she's very good. I kind of thinking that she might be A tier, and I think I'd actually maybe want to put her probably above Kale, potentially above Elder Dragon. Heimerdinger is pretty strong, so maybe not there. No, she's just 5 stars. Well, I'm not taking part of this one. I feel like a lot of people potentially don't have Leona as 6 stars because not as many people are commenting about her. I think Heimerdinger has the potential for a stronger, well, definitely stronger turn 1, but I feel like she's so consistent. You know exactly what upgrades you're going to get. Heimerdinger, sometimes you're going to get like amazing upgrades and he's going to absolutely destroy. Other times you get really bad upgrades. And yeah, she scales super fast. Your units almost never die. Like, unless the enemy has like a kill or an obliterate, they're not leaving. So I think let's just put her here for now. I think she is pretty good. I think if you compare consistency, Leona's better than Heimerdinger. Yeah, that's kind of what was pushing me over the edge, because it's easy to just think about Heimerdinger's like crazy turn 1 and how you can just completely end, but that really revolves when you're actually getting the right upgrades, which, yeah, is not always there. Leona is very consistent at 6 star, agreed. She just needs her relic to function. Without it, she needs some more help. Right, but with her like new best build, she's kind of ridiculous. We could rename the tiers so the bottom rungs don't feel so harsh. I mean, yeah, we could do like go all gacha game and have like quadruple or like triple S and just have everyone be S tier. But all right, I think that's good for now. Let's go for Lilia. I think Lilia is pretty busted. With her, what is it called? Well, for one, she can use Strength of Stone, but you can go for a quick attack build with her. No, she already does the quick attack. You go for a scissors build. I think it's scissors and Death's Foil, potentially. But yeah, Lilia is pretty crazy. Puts a massive amount of damage turn 1. If you start getting some good upgrades, you can end turn 1, but it's normally just like a lot of damage, and then with your second attack, you're absolutely annihilating. I think she's very, very good. I don't think she's S tier good, but I think she's going to be in the A tier. Even new event, she solos no matter what you draw her, in my opinion. Not sure exactly which one you're talking about at the moment. I don't like her and find her overrated. That's just me, though. She's B tier for me. Her 6 star doesn't suit her, even if she has some wonky builds with it. Is this a general tier list? I mean, this is a tier list considering them all at 6 stars with their best possible builds. Man, seeing Jinx out of S is so weird. I think she's really good. I don't think she could I think she definitely belongs in the A tier. Yeah, the power creep is real for Jinx. She used to just be able to absolutely annihilate everything, but when things have such big health bars, it kind of doesn't quite hit there anymore. Who are we on now? Got lost in the list. We're talking about Lilia. So Lilia is the current champion we are thinking about. I think Lilia is really, really strong and has insane scaling, great consistency. Like, she's one that's very similar to Ahri. When you're going with like an echoing build for her, you're guaranteed to draw her. It doesn't really matter what other powers you get. They're all more of like a bonus. You don't need any of them to do well. And she just dominates. You can really flex her into a lot of different roles or lit different builds. So if you need more control, more removal, you can do that, more scaling. Yeah, right now we're seeing a lot of A's. I think the top is just more weight in that direction. We're definitely going to get some others later on. Yeah, I feel like she'd be pretty good. Honestly, I kind of feel like it'd be... Well, these are both kind of similar, but... Yeah, I feel like she's solid A. Random off-topic question, what are people's opinions on milk? Your favorite? Alternatives? I just go for normal milk. It's hard for me to speak about 6 stars I don't have. All right, let's go on and talk about Lux, the original Lux that has been brought in. I think she's good, but I'm kind of thinking like high B tier. Lux is probably high A, low S, I reckon. Super consistent, also has chip damage. Now, it has been a little while since I've played Lux. She is one I potentially need to test more. B, busted with 6 star, or C. I don't think I want to definitely put her in the C tier. High A, if not S. I like playing her, but the small units. Cleared Fiddle with her first try when she was 3 stars. High B for Lux, I think higher than it's just so boring. So many hand problems. Both Luxes are B for me. All right, let's do a poll because I see a lot of mixed opinions here. All right. Lux, where do you personally think she should go? S, A, or B? Go ahead and vote. For me, I'm thinking initially like B tier, but it has been a little while since I've played her. Like I played her a bunch. Normally after I do a guide for a champion, I then play a lot of other things. So could be a little bit off. And yeah, this is the original Lux right here. She is fun, but she has some issues. All right, so yeah. For the poll, no one voted S tier, 6 voted A tier, and then 9 voted B tier. So I think she's good, and I think I would probably... Oh, let's do that. I think she'd probably be around Jhin. I think let's roughly put her here for now. Again, the exact placement isn't necessarily that big of a deal, but I think roughly it's all the B tier. I think she's pretty good. Also, looks like her circle's slightly smaller. Let's go for now Lux Illuminated. So, other version of Lux that is a little bit cheaper, more... Well, not necessarily turn 1, but more early game power, generally. But you don't get the lasers. Think her with her S tier is pretty good. You can attack, you draw out a spell, that's normally going to be a combat trick, you refill mana so you can then use it right away. Normally ends turn 2, second attack. Really high A or high A. In comparison to others, she feels solid A. Oh, I think you're talking about the other one. Can make S, to be honest. Wouldn't be against S, but high A is fine. Lux Illuminate has everything. Big stats, protect, buff spells, removal spells. She can both attack and defend. She usually one-shots turn 1. Reposting because it went up. Okay, yeah, I missed that before. A to B to me. All right, let's... I think where it seems like everyone wants her in A, but let's do another poll just to again see what people are really saying. So, second version of Lux Illuminated. What are you guys thinking here for this one right here? Do you think she belongs in the A tier or B tier? Based on what people were saying earlier, I would think A tier. I didn't think enough people, especially after the last one. No one voted S. I didn't bother adding it this time. Alright, yeah, so most people are saying A tier for her. I feel like I would probably put her below Ambessa, personally. I think she's like top of A and good. I just kind of... I would think I like Ambessa better. Below Jinx or Ambessa, yeah. Alright, so again... Alright, let's do another one. Alright, do you think the Lux Illuminated should be put above or below Ambessa? I think she's good. I think she's roughly around that same level, but I would kind of think that would be kind of a good break point. Toast, you have to put it next to Jinx because light cannon. Ambessa ain't that good. That's actually pretty funny. So for anyone watching, it's perfectly 50-50. Anyone wants to make their voices heard, go now. Oh, Below's winning out. Oh. All right, so it was a close race, but 8-6 for Below. I think Lux Illuminated can have a really good turn 1, but I think in a little bit more of the mid game, Lux Illuminate or Ambessa can add in a lot, especially with the removal of just the flat, whatever their strongest unit is, kill it. I don't know, Echo has to be better than that. I did a poll on Echo. I thought he would probably end up in the A tier. Overwhelming majority put Echo in the B tier. So I was kind of surprised by that as well. Let's go for Misfortune. Misfortune's really good. I think she's really consistent. You have a lot of damage. You don't need to get lucky with powers, but they did add a whole bunch of powers for spells and skills. So I think she's going to be even stronger than normal. I would say Misfortune should be S tier. Ambessa is just huge and kills stuff through everything. S, 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 low S, mid S, somewhere there. I mean, I would put her, yeah, like in the middle right now. I don't think she's better than like Ari and Viego, but I'd say she's probably generally stronger and more consistent than some of the champions over here. So yeah, pretty much everyone's agreeing that Misfortune is S tier, so let's try to move on. We have Morgana. Now, Morgana is very, very strong. She has really good sustain. Her 6-star does give her a lot of extra damage, but she is still really slow. So I would think that, again, she should probably be like A tier potentially, just because of how slow she is. Don't really have many 6 stars, to be honest. Swain, Warwick, Victor, Eddie, Misfortune, Kaisa, a couple others. She ain't slow with the 6 stars. She's a lot faster with the 6 stars, but 6-star below Misfortune. I do actually need to kind of test and see how fast she is again. I think she's still, yeah, on the slower side with her 6-star. All right, so we're going to do a poll again for this one. Again, remember, for this tier list, we are trying to weight kind of the champion's weaknesses and also their speed. Now, for Misfortune, she's super consistent, super strong, but even with 6 stars, she can be on the slower side. Now, her 6-star does speed her up dramatically, but I think it is still slower. But we'll just do one. I think I know where this is going to go, but do you want her in the S tier or A tier? Do note, if she does go in the A tier, she's probably going to be like the very top of A tier. But we'll see what you guys are thinking. Another high A, low S for me. Solid, consistent, can be time consuming. Yeah, that's roughly what I'm thinking as well. Poll is pretty close, 5-4 right now for S. And tied 50-50. So if you want your voices heard, now is the time. It keeps going up and balancing back. All right, 9-7 right now. All right, so stayed 9-7 for S tier. I feel like we'll probably put her at the bottom for now. I think, yeah, where you're placing her doesn't necessarily matter as much, but yeah, she is super strong, super consistent. Slow doesn't mean bad. The enemy units can't move. I mean, yes, but we're trying to not have just power be the most important thing for this tier list. We're trying to consider all of their strengths, weaknesses, and also how fast they can be. And she still is on definitely the slower side for 6 stars. We don't actually care clear time, do we? Like, considering animation speed and tier list is kind of crazy. Yeah, we're not considering like animation speed necessarily, because you can also just crank it up to ×4 if you need to. All right, Nasus. I think this one's going to be pretty divisive based on what some of you guys have been arguing about so far. I think Nasus is good. I think him at 6 stars is very solid. I think he's super consistent. And I think he's pretty powerful. Unfortunately, which is pretty much the story of almost this entire tier list, is I feel like he's like A to B tier. He's really good. Nasus is B. Love him, but I want to say he's S. I think we're mostly going to agree with this, but I do still want to do a poll for this one, just to say if he's A or B tier. I think he's probably should be A, although A is obviously getting very cramped. So go ahead and post what you think there. It seems like most people are saying A, actually, but, well, I mean, it's only been 3 votes so far. Nasus is good if you take him into high-level adventures, though. He'll struggle with slaying units, which is what his entire power is about. And it's... I feel like half the chat is just trying to make it balanced. All right, A and B, very, very close. He feels inevitable. I don't know about him at 6 stars, but at 5 stars, he is slow and steady, but he generally wins inevitably or eventually. Him at 6 stars is actually really good. And the 6 star does make a really big difference. And I do think he actually does have a lot of builds. Wow, he's... All right, well, that was helpful. So the pull tied with 6 votes each for A and B tier. Yeah, so you were coin flip. I think what we'll do, since we don't really have a lot of space, we'll put him at the very top of B tier. Just because A tier is full. Let's throw him right here. So we'll just put him very top of B. I think he can be very good, especially with his 6 star. He gains a lot of power from his 6 star. Like, I know he used to be one of kind of like the worst champions in the game. He's actually very, very good now. And I think actually comparing him to Kai'Sa isn't the worst. I think him and Kai'Sa are actually pretty competitive. So personally, I would, probably have him roughly around Kai'Sa. I think he is comparable to her. So wherever she would be, I would probably put him close to that. But yeah, we'll leave him there for now. Let's keep moving on. We don't want this to take forever. We still have a lot of champions. All right, we have Nautilus. I like Nautilus, but I don't think he is that crazy. I would probably put him right now at the bottom of C as probably the worst champion so far that we've rated. I think he's a lot of fun. And again, I think some of the C tier champions can actually be more fun than a lot of the ones up here. Sometimes champions get so strong that they get a little boring. But I like Nautilus. Nautilus. I would say C. C, agree, probably B. Maybe above Aatrox. At the bottom of the C. He's better than Darius for sure. I mean, Darius has a really good 2 star that gives you that rally, and so you can attack again and get some good damage in. Half the time you can't even play Nautilus. I mean, yeah. Often you end before you even play him. Random question, how come some of the icons are mini? I'm not sure. Probably because some of them... my wife is the one that cuts out all the icons. I think what happened was she grabbed some of the icons from a previous tier list, and in the moment she didn't realize that they were smaller. So that's probably what's going on there. Darius doesn't have a 2 star against adventures with removal. I mean, especially with your 6 star, you normally have enough units that you can trigger it pretty easily. Bottom of C is lore accurate and game accurate. Doesn't matter, they're fine. Thank your wife for her work for us. I thank her every day. Let's again just do a quick poll. So I think he should be in the C tier. I think most people are agreeing with that. I think he should probably be at the bottom, but some people want him to be higher. So you think he should be at the top of C or the bottom of C? I think he is still fun, and again, everyone with their 6 star is busted. None of the champions that we're saying putting on here, even if we put them lower, are saying they're bad. It's just other champions are a bit more busted. Yes, we're talking about Nautilus. And we're voting on if he should be at the top of C or bottom. Nautilus being in the depths is accurate. Yeah, just kind of funny that some of them are just like slightly smaller. All right, the majority right now is going for bottom of C. All right, I think we'll leave him there for now, and we'll move on to Nico. So I've only played like 3 or 4 games with Nico at her 6 stars, but I am not really impressed. I'm not really a huge fan of it. It does give you some good damage when you attack. That can be damage to soften up the enemy, meaning if you're attacking with like overwhelmed units, you then get some more damage down. But your units are pretty small. They're pretty easy for the enemy to kill if they try at all. Also, you have to actually attack with your units to get the extra added damage. So if the enemy has big units that are just going to be able to kill you, you're pretty much sending them to their deaths. I'm not really that happy with it. Personally, I would say if we're going to put anyone in the D tier, I feel like it should probably be Nico. But I could just be biased and just really not like her. How do you think Nico could be buffed? More scaling on the 6 stars. What I would have done for her 6 stars is instead of making it per enemy with a subtype that attacked, scale it off of subtypes. So like you deal 1 damage per subtype. That way you're still trying to stack different types of subtypes instead of like a subtyped ally. I feel like that's just kind of more boring. Her and Nora are the only ones who agree on D. 6-star Nora has actually been really, really good. Beast within, big guns, everything else makes her strong. I disagree. I think she should be C or B. I like Nico a lot. I think she's better than what you have in C. All right, let's do a poll then for her. We'll say B or C. Although, honestly, you more said you think she's stronger than the people in C. So I think instead, let's just do same thing we did for Nautilus, so top of C, because other people are going to be filtered into the B tier. If we put her in the B tier, she's just going to get kicked back down. So we can take top of C or the bottom. Honestly, we'll probably get rid of the D and F tiers. Probably. We'll probably have room just to put these people in 4. All right, so we have a couple people put top of C, but the majority is saying bottom. Man, Nico's not loved by the community at all. How many 6 stars does the average chatter have? I like Nico, but I really, really dislike her gameplay. Yeah, as a character, I don't mind her. I just don't really find her fun to play. Mazulu dominates. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. All right, so majority said bottom of C. So yeah, we'll leave her here for now. I guess I should try Nora with Tomb because so far I haven't been convinced. Nora with Tomb and then the Nasus Relic is actually insane for her. Like, I'm pretty sure I put gameplay up on the channel. You should definitely go check it out because I know previously, yeah, we rated Nora as like the worst champion. I do not hold that position anymore. I think she is a lot better. think she's better than Not, though. Possibly, but we won't do too long with it. The exact placement of where they be above or some others would be, yeah, different. All right, we do have Nora now. Nora is actually a lot better than I thought she would be. For one, Hidden Tome, because the champions, even though they're summoned, since they immediately level to level 2, it still triggers Hidden Tome. So like for Nora, unlike every other champion, it actually works like a summon effect. That is really, really good. You can pair Hidden Tome with her champion spell, which puts like 2 portals in your deck and draws a card. If it draws a card and it gives you a champion, it gives you 3 mana back. It can be a 4-cost spell with your Echoing. So it's like you almost gain all your mana back, so you can just keep playing it. So you can just put a ton of portals in your deck, keep drawing more cards. Also pairing it with Scales of Judgment, the Nasus Relic. Very good, because quickly, even though that is also a play effect, your board will get filled up very quickly, and then you can just start dropping champions and dominate. So she's actually very, very good. I think I actually like her more than most people in B tier, actually. Yeah, I like her a lot. I think she's very good. I think she could be higher up here. I don't really want to put anyone in the A tier because honestly, some people in A tier are probably going to get kicked down to B. Her gameplay dies if she gets removed. Not necessarily. Also, normally with her, I like to go for Echoing. So if she gets removed, you just play another copy of her. So it's not actually that big of a deal. All right, put her below Echo. Yeah, I think one thing we'll do right now is we'll just move a lot of these champions just because it's getting a little bit crowded here. I think we're going to have some other champions that are going to go up in the A tier. So I think let's move Kale and Elder Dragon down a bit. I think they're both really good, but I think most of the champions here are going to be better. And then I feel like for Nora, she's not really at the bottom, but for most of us, we're thinking she's around the middle range. I think we'll slot her in here. And yeah, we could probably argue that she'd be above or below certain people, but I think middle of B is fine. Ari, we put her first because we didn't have anyone else ranked up here yet. She's definitely very good. I think you could argue that some other people could be better, but she's definitely very, very strong. Eldragon being in B is a crime to me. I mean, we tried to keep him in A, but A is just really competitive. If we end up having room, we could put him back here, but yeah, we'll have to see. All right, let's go for Pike. I like Pike a lot. I think he's very fun. I would prefer him over like Ashe, so I would think like the bottom of B tier, but honestly, B tier is kind of competitive. Just pretend double A and B for the Rose. I mean, potentially. B above Lux, just under Lux, high C. All right, I think for him, let's go ahead and do a poll. All right, so for Pike, do you think he should be near the bottom of B? Not necessarily like the very bottom, but like in this sort of range? Or do you think he should be the very top of C? I like him. I think he's probably deserves to be in here, but yeah, we'll see. He's not better than Ash consistency wise. I actually find with the right build he's super consistent, but yeah, I think he's actually pretty good. If again you have him at 6 stars, if you're cutting every single spell, well, most spells, making sure you're drawing correctly, I think I find him pretty consistent. All right, it is tied 50-50. We have 6 for bottom of B or top of C. Pyke is really consistent. This is coming from a previous Pyke hater. All right, so top of C was just able to edge out bottom. So I like him. I think I personally put him in B tier, but this is why we're doing polls. So top of C, honestly, B tier is probably going to get shoved down. Let's go for Samira. I think Samira is really good. I think she's pretty consistent. I would probably put her at like bottom of A. I think she's good. I think a lot of the other people in A tier are better. C? I think C is crazy for Samira. Pyke is underrated, but I used to underrate him too. A to B, B, Samira's B. All right, well, it's time for another poll. Yeah, we might have another poll to say where we want her in these tiers. Like, I think she'd probably be bottom of A, but A or B, I guess the B tier is getting more competitive. I mean, I think Samira is really strong, but all right, most people are going for that B. Pyke not being B. I need a moment. I mean, yeah, I would have put him in B as well. I mean, it is funny seeing everyone's different experiences with champions. I will say, though, that Samira is definitely a more difficult champion. So it is harder to get like the same results with her. All right, everyone's saying B for Samira. I think for right now, I want to keep rating champions, so I think I'll just throw her in the middle, and we'll keep moving on. So let's go for Swain. I mean, Swain's super good, very consistent, a lot of removal. I don't think anyone's really going to argue with Swain being the S tier. Like, we'll probably just move on. I'll wait a moment, but yeah, I think everyone's going to be fine with Swain in S tier. He's ridiculously good. Swain has never been consistent for me. He's A for me, but yeah, S is fair. Swain is above Ari for me. I mean, yeah, that part, the exact placements we're not as particular about right now, but yeah, I think S, he's arguably the best. Super, super good. Let's move on and talk about Talia. I think Talia is good, but right now these tiers are pretty stacked, so I would put Talia in the C tier. B, C, B, C. Honestly, what we'll probably do in the future, I might adjust this tier list where we probably get rid of the D and F tier and potentially make a bigger A and B tier. BC for Stone Age with all those rock bears. All right, we'll go ahead and try to do a poll quickly for her. So here's one if you want for B or C tier. I think she'd probably be like slot right in here personally. That's where I'd probably put her. And yeah, don't get caught up necessarily in the tiers as far as like the lettering, because we're probably going to make like A tier is probably going to end up being part of this, and then B tier is probably going to be a lot of this as well. All right, so far C tier is definitely winning for Talia. Do her rocks stack when she levels? Like the skill? I mean, you get like multiple of them, yeah. They don't stack on top of each other. All right, C tier, definitely one. I think we'll slide her right in there. I think she's good. So yeah, I think we'll just keep her there. Let's go for Tryndamere. It's been a little bit since I've played him. I'm not a huge fan. One person F, the other one says A. I kind of feel like I'd want to put him at like the top of C tier. It seems C is the most fun champs. I mean, yeah, I said that before. Like, the lower the champion is, they're potentially more fun. He's the definition of D tier. All right, we'll do a poll. We're seeing a lot of different results for him. And honestly, he's one I probably need to test him out. All right, there's Tryndamere with A, B, or C. Tryndamere's trying too many things that don't synergize all that well together. I would agree with that. A or B, very consistent with echoing double orb. Try it out. I probably need to. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. B is so far winning, although B tier is pretty stacked. All right, so B tier won, and I'm going to immediately do another poll to see. So this is roughly where you think he should be in the B tier. Top up here, mid, or bottom. Because for me, I would probably put him at the bottom, but some people are much more into him than I am. So I just want to see what you guys are thinking. Put wife and husband together. I mean, that would be, yeah, cute. Haven't messed around with him much. Also don't really have a 6-star. Maybe we'll get that after the event rewards. Gilbert, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. The 6-star makes a huge difference. Yeah, it is. All right, so pretty much everyone is saying bottom. Yeah, we'll go ahead and squeeze that in right there. I guess we can move a lot of these over a little bit. Make some more room. Okay, there we go. Nuri Kuber, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. B so stacked. Yeah, we're probably going to make some adjustments and we're probably going to expand A and B tier, most likely. Another thing with Tryndamere, he synergizes with a lot of powers that rarely has hand space issues due to how expensive his Call to Arms is. Way too underrated for how good he is. I don't like him much, but he's more powerful than people believe at 6 stars. Tryndamere is someone... So right now, the people I plan on testing, I plan on putting out a video for Akshan, trying to show how busted he can be with Gale Force, and then I'm going to try a build with Tryndamere, see how I'm feeling on him. Also, let's keep moving on. So we have Vayne. Vayne is surprisingly conflicting. I think Vayne is really good. I think she can end turn 1 very consistently. I think she's very strong. But if they're able to do something to your Vayne, then your power drops dramatically. For me, I think Vayne should be in the A tier, because I think she's super consistent, one of the best turn 1 champions in the game. But yes, if she gets removed, you're going to have a very bad time. You normally can still win just because you're a 6-star champion, you're pretty busted. But she does have that one weakness, which is pretty massive. If they take her out, your power drops an insane amount. Or if you don't draw her, it also is really, really bad. Vayne is A on a good day, B on most, C on a bad day. She kind of needs Death Foil. Well, yes, but we're considering that she has Death Foil. Let's... Yeah, go ahead and do a poll here. All right, so we're doing one for Vayne. If you think she should be A tier or B tier. With Death Foil, definitely A. Yeah, for me, Vayne is A tier as well, but B tier right now is actually winning out, although it is very close. I mean, there is an argument to be made for the S tier, but considering she's struggling to even get A tier right now, I don't think that's going to work. All right, it's, yeah, neck and neck again. Oh, my word. All right, so B just very slightly was able to edge it out. I'll not skew the votes, but I've never played Vayne a single day in my life. All right, so it was very close. Vayne just barely got B tier. I think what we're going to do is we'll have to move some of these down. All right, so we're probably going to go ahead and do this when we actually adjust this later. So we're probably going to combine both of these to make one big A tier. We're probably going to combine 2 to make a really big B tier. And then I think we'll actually have a C tier. So I think some of these should... Like, they were in the C tier before. I think they kind of belong there. Personally, Again, this does not mean they are bad. This just means we think some other champions are stronger, faster, or more consistent. A lot of these champions are still very fun. All right, where do we think the line should be for the bottom of A tier? What do you think a good breakpoint is? Yeah, we're running out of space, and so we keep dropping people in the tiers, but they feel like they should be in the tier above. The line is between Samira and Jhin. I mean, I would kind of see that. I could kind of see this being like the start of B tier, although people did say Vayne in B. I think this would be closer. The luck should be way high in my opinion. I mean, yeah, there's some people that... there has been some decisions with the majority of chat that I've not been 100% there for. Tryndamere, what do we say for Tryndamere? Vayne existing in general is a crime. Can you make A plus or B plus to be more clear? Sure. Although even with that, we're probably just going to make it one tier. So it's probably just gonna be like one giant A. Potentially. What's the build for this S Akshan? His Relic, Gale Force, and Echoing. I plan on testing it again and doing another video showcasing it, because I think that was one of the videos that might have gotten posted on the replays channel, the streaming channel, so maybe less people have seen it. All right, so I think we'll roughly go here. So yeah, we have big A, big amount of B, and then C tier. Because yeah, there's some champions that are getting pushed down just because we didn't have enough space. I think this should be generally better. All right, let's go for Vex. I think Vex is very good. One issue is she's a little bit inconsistent just because you have to get good spells from a shop. Like, as long as you can hit up a shop and get some decent spells, you skyrocket as far as power. I would say very strong, but probably I would put in like A tier somewhere is how I would kind of think for Vex. Wasn't Nasus, Nora, Echo agreed to be B tier? I mean, yes, but part of that was also with there being less space. Very strong and consistent. Yeah, like high B is now A, essentially, yeah. We went for the B tier. We kind of asked people roughly where they think the line should have been, and so everything above that we just had like new bottom of A. I think Vex is good. Everyone here, no one here is bad. Yeah. Even if some people are on the bottom, it doesn't mean they're a bad champion. At 6 stars, pretty much everyone can clear almost everything in the game. So don't think anyone is bad here. Also, yeah, Nautilus is another one I should play more. I do need to test it more. All right, I think Vex is good, but let's go ahead and do a poll. All right, so we split it up a little bit more. So I think she's good. I don't think she's good enough to be S. I would think, yeah, somewhere in this range, either like top of A or bottom of B. Yeah, that's kind of the whole reason to get rid of the D and the F tiers, because I don't think there's really anyone that's bad enough to go in there. I don't like Nico's gameplay. I think she deserves a buff. Only 6-star, I think like that. Yeah, Nico is kind of the only champion that I would kind of say is bad. I would not really want to say that about anyone else, but Nico is kind of the only one I'd kind of view that for. All right, so A plus, A or B. Right now, A is winning, but A plus isn't far behind. Pretty much no one thinks B, which at least there's that. All right, A was able to win. Especially since we have it split up in this way now. I don't care as much about the actual layout. I think let's just like throw it roughly in there and keep moving on. All right, we have Vi. I think Vi is actually very good for her. Vi has a lot of damage. You get impact. You can scale your impact up way more. You have your 6-star, which is increasing the power of all your units in hand. And then you also have Overwhelm, just baseline from your like 4th star. I think Vi has a ton of damage. I think you can go for a build like double Gatebreaker and her relic, her cease and desist to do a ton of damage. I think 6-star Vi is actually pretty busted. And again, pretty much like all champions, kind of deserves to be somewhere in these three. 6-star Vi is at least A+. I would kind of, personally, I think I would put her like here. I think she's good. I think that she deserves to be up in this tier, but I don't think she should really be better than a lot of these other champions. So this is kind of where I would put Vi. I don't know if anyone else would disagree with that. Okay, so yeah, people are happy with this. We'll put Vi there. I think she's good. Next up, we have Victor. I think Victor is an easy S tier champion. Vi deck is terrible. She has to have 6-star to be good. Well, we are considering her having 6 stars, so that's fine. I think, yeah, Victor, easy S tier. I don't think anyone really is going to argue with that. Yeah, the Strength of Stone build, especially at 5 stars, is also nuts. No, I don't think anyone's going to disagree with Victor, right? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I don't like Victor personally, but he does deserve it. I think he's so strong, he's boring, to be honest, which is a little sad. But yeah. Yeah, we adjusted the tiers because we didn't really think anyone deserves to be in D and F tier, and the A and B tiers were just getting so big. All right, yeah, Victor, he's S tier, really, really good. Let's move on to Volibear. I think Volibear is really good. I would probably put Volibear in the A+ tier. Probably, actually, I'd either put him in this area or the top of A. I think he's really good, but he's also one of my favorite champions. So we'll do a poll for him. So pretty much you want him in A+, A, or B+. I think he's really good. But again, I'm probably biased because he is one of my favorites. Fully is high A, so fun. I think Elder is better. See, I would put him close to Elder. I think I personally would put him, yeah, like either here or shove everyone down and put him in the top of A. Came back to the game after 3 or 4 years. Which decks are meta right now? We're talking about Path of Champions, so we don't really play the PvP, so I'm not sure. Not sure what's meta. Don't have him at 6 stars. Feels really solid, but he feels like he can struggle sometimes. If I had the 6 star, the struggles might be rough because of juicy stats. All right, most people are saying A. I like him better than, or I think he's stronger than pretty much all of these. I think he's pretty close to Elder Dragon, but I would say he kind of edges out Elder Dragon because he has way more removal and also control and draw. So I think he has enough utility that I think he's a bit better. And yeah, the amount of removal you can have with all your Titanic units is pretty ridiculous. So let's put him there and move on to Warwick. I like Warwick a lot. I would feel like he'd be the bottom of A or top of B, is my vibes for him. Don't like Warwick at all. B for me. I feel like Warwick is another one that can be pretty divisive. We might actually have to do an extra one. I don't think anyone's going to want A+. Let's do A, B+, and B. Hopefully no one wants him in the C tier. I don't think he deserves that. Yeah, I would say either bottom of A or in the mid to top of B. But some people actually just want actual B. Have you tried Monster Train 2? I have not, no. Warwick, consistent, strong, versatile, good draw, good sustain, works with most powers. Yeah, I think Warwick is pretty good. I think he's quite strong. Really, really good sustain with your crazy amount of regen. I like him. I think Warwick is very good. Okay, most people are actually saying A. That makes me happy. Yeah, it's pretty overwhelming right now. 14 votes. The other two are just at 3. I think let's put him down here at the bottom of A tier. I think it's a pretty good spot for him. Let's go for Yasuo. Now for Yasuo, you're very strong. You are incredibly consistent. The build I go for Yasuo is normally like Echoing, his Relic, and then I think even like Grand Generals, but I think Echoing plus his Relic is very, very good. You get the extra mana, you can drop Yasuo turn 1, and then you have a whole bunch of his champion spell. I think it's pretty good. I would say the only issue with Yasuo is you can be quite slow because you're a very defensive champion. So I feel like I would probably actually put him in like the A+ tier, and I don't think I'd put him in the S tier personally. But I think that's probably one that we should do another poll for. All right, so we have a poll for Yasuo. If you think he should be in the S tier, A+ tier, or A tier. Yeah, I would lean towards putting him in the A+, especially since we're trying to take champions like weaknesses a bit more into consideration. I feel like while he is very strong and consistent, he is just much more on the slower side. So I would think that that should drop him down a bit, but we'll see what you guys think. If you can't vote, try to refresh quickly. Right now, the A+ is winning pretty heavily. Goes like Morgana, Yasuo, Ashe with the control champs, pretty much. A is actually creeping up more. That's actually a little surprising. I feel like A is, yeah, a bit low. All right, I think let's just place him near the top. I don't think the exact placement really matters, but let's just kind of go up here for Yasuo. All right, last champion, we have Yuumi. I feel like Yumi's actually one of the champions that the least amount of people have at 6 stars. Her 6-star is actually very good. She has Phalanx. She is pretty solid. Personally, I would probably put her, I mean, in the block where almost all champions are, of like A plus A to B. I think she's pretty good, especially with the Victor Relic. That Phalanx is very strong. Her 6-star lets you scale up everyone to your strongest unit. She is a bit boring. Honestly, I could see her being in like the top of A here. I have Yuumi 6-star, busted A+. Can we merge every tier into S? Because all champions are good in their own way. I have Yuumi 6-stars, okay. I do probably need to play with Yuumi 6-star more. I've only played like 1 or 2 matches with it. So like it has felt pretty strong, but yeah. It's we do not have that much room. I think we could maybe squeeze it in here. I would kind of think that for Yuumi, she is really strong early game power. Kind of want to slide her right in there between like Ambessa and Lux Illuminated. She's strong early, has good scaling. Ambessa has the extra removal, which Yuumi doesn't have. So I feel like that would be pretty good. Lemonation has a great build for her. You need Succubus Brand, Disciple. I can't remember what else. You drop her turn 1, fill the board with Husks. Turn 2, drop something. That does actually sound pretty good. Thank you for that shout out, Giga. I'll try to test that one out. Because that does seem like it could be crazy, yeah. It's just scaling, that'd be pretty ridiculous. That would be, yeah, interesting. All right. What champions here do you think I should move the boys and Nico to B from the lowest tier? I kind of like them. I mean, I guess people can't actually see them. I guess we can do this. We'll have them there and then Nico down here. What champions do you think I should test again? I'm going to test out Tryndamere, because it's been a bit since I've played him. I'm going to try him, especially with the Echoing and Double Orb build. Double Guardian Orb. So that's one. Test Kale. Kale's coming out. I just did. That video is either... Was that last night or tomorrow night? Or tonight? Yeah, Kale, I just tested her out. We are going to test out Akshan again with Gale Force and put that up on the main channel because it's pretty busted, but I want to make sure I'm confident putting him in the bottom of S. Pike, I'm pretty confident in. I would put him... I mean, I like him. It was more the chat that kind of had him a little bit lower. We're going to play Nautilus again. He was one that... It's been a little bit since I've really played him. I've played Warwick a good amount. Samira, Vi, Nasus being criminally underrated by chat. Yeah, there's definitely some that I'm confident in, but chat really disliked. Nasus is actually pretty good. Maybe we'll do Nasus again. Nasus at 6 stars is pretty good. We could maybe showcase Jace again. I think Leona is overrated. Leona with her 6 star and her new build is pretty good. Why is Akshan S? Because he's pretty nuts with specific build. Well, a couple different builds. He has insane turn 1 power, and you pretty much dominate the entire game. But that's why I'm going to be doing a video to... I've already done a couple videos showcasing it, but I just want to do another one, be like, look at how busted this is. I recommended the Kaisa build to Tora before. Do you see it by chance? It's why I think she's S tier. I don't think I saw what build you were recommending. I think Samira is weakest at 6 stars, actually. Interesting. I think 6 star Samira is pretty good. I would say her 6 star is not as important. I think her at 5 stars isn't that much different. All right, I think this is a pretty good preliminary ranking. I'll be testing some of these champions over the next couple days and be posting those all on YouTube, and then we'll probably be adjusting how these are constructed. I don't know. We'll maybe keep it as A tier or A plus and A, or just do one giant A tier. Not sure. I love how Nico by herself is on the lower right C tier. I think all the champions at 6 stars are good and can clear virtually all the content in the game, other than Nico. Nico, I actually think, is kind of the only one you can kind of say is bad. Now, that's obviously just my take on it. There might be some people that really like Nico, but she kind of feels like the only bad champion. I cleared Fiddle with Nico. I think I did as well, to be honest. I'm actually very certain I did. But I still don't think she's that good. I think Nico is one of the champions that, could use a little bit of a change or a rework to make her a bit better. I think every other champion, while there are different strengths and weaknesses... That was weird. I think she's kind of the only one that's actually a little bad. All right, I think that's where we'll call it for today. Thank you all for your help. This is not the final tier list. We'll still be testing out some people and tweaking this. But overall, thank you. This was really great to help me think through a lot of the different champions. But I'd say it's pretty solid. There are definitely some that I disagree with chat on. But thanks for your help. Hope you all have a great rest of the day. See ya. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, a like and subscribe is always appreciated. Also, if you want to check out our Twitch stream, Discord channel, or the main YouTube channel, links to all that are down below. Thank you again for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.